So although most of this is going to be against a wall, let's start with just getting into the groove of this pseudo closed chain experience that we're going to have by using the pillowcase around our arms or maybe some of our other limbs. So when you create a closed chain experience, what happens is it's more secure. The feedback is more secure for your muscles into your body. So generally you can go a little further and you feel more stable in any type of movement. So I'd like you just to bag your arms here. You're going to push them out. And take a moment to change your hand positions inside your sack. So maybe I'll push it out like this, then I'll go like that, then I'll go like that. Just seeing how that feels in my back and what I like best. So taking a stance, pulling your arms apart. And as you pull apart, feel the strength moving through your back and start to reach your tailbone down to your feet. So it becomes a whole body experience. A few pulses, moving through these potential arm rotations to feel the differences in the internal shapes this makes. So it's both a matter of discovering your personal preference and discovering your inner world. When you find the hand rotation is working for you right now, we'll do a couple fancy good mornings. So you're going to widen your feet to wider than hip distance and turn your toes slightly in, and then turn your knees slightly in. Squeeze the inner thighs together without actually changing where they are in space, and reach your tailbone down. So when you do that, you should feel like your tailbone all of a sudden gets suctioned down to the core of the earth, and everything becomes very strong in your haunches and your posterior chain. Now from that, start to raise your arms up until you feel the connection of your arms all the way down to your lower back. Keep your arms in that space. Hinge forward with a flat back. So your tailbone is going through your legs, your pubic bone is rotating. Rotating in the vertical sense. And then come back up. And then lower the arms down. You're welcome to change your configuration. You can move the pillowcase down. You can change the way your hands face. With that 3 more times. Kind of like a pillowcase car wash for your spine. And if you go to a place where your shoulder's not happy with it, just back off. Don't go so far up or let there be a slight elbow bend. What we're looking for is the internal connections, not some type of arbitrary external shape. And then we'll slide the pillowcase behind ourselves, place our hands back in it, and 4 times send the arms down while we arch our body out. So you don't have to push so much with the arms. You want it to be slack enough that you can begin to ease your ribs through. You could actually play with doing this by leaning up against the wall, seeing if you can touch your body forward to the wall to get it out of the way of the arms. It's not like you have to hit it, but give yourself a sense of forward direction as opposed to just jamming the arms back, which is something I see a lot. This last time, we're going to stay up there. I'd like you to move your jaw around. And then open and close your mouth a few times. And then come up. You can let the pillowcase drop. We're going to do a little work to enhance the mobility possibility of our arms by just exploring the different rotational possibilities of our hands. So oftentimes if we get locked into a certain hand position, which happens because we hold our hands in the same way all the time, so we forget about other options, these very mobile fingers don't explore those ranges. And then the bones above it's like a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 pattern of the bones of the arm. We want to get the mobility happening at the 5s. So in the 4s and the 3s and the 2s, there's still that whole rotational capability. So then the single bone that intersects the shoulder has all of this freedom below, and there's less of a traffic jam up here with the shoulder structure when that happens. So the principle is very simple. Just go ahead and take one hand out for a second and look at it. And then turn the thumb down and up a few times. And see if you can feel, as like by rotating the thumb, you're rotating your hand, which is rotating your arm, but that's also rotating your scapula in the back. If this is tough for you to feel, you could actually take your pillowcase, put it behind your scapula, and lean into that in the wall. And then you should be able to feel a little more of the bony motion. Everybody try that. That's helpful. So make a gliding place between your back and the wall. Stick one arm out, and then move the hand in that wheel pattern so you can feel how the scapula is kind of rocking and rolling on the shoulders there. And in essence, the scapula follows the pattern of the hand. It's doing kind of the same thing, but because it's a different shape on a different surface, it's going to look different. We've experimented a lot with one side. Let's just test that. Come out and do a quick little snow angel standing to see if you feel any difference in the smoothness or accessibility of this motion. Depending on your own flexibility, you may or may not notice anything. But usually by increasing proprioception, we get more smoothness and we begin to feel bigger, more floaty on the side that's enhanced its awareness of where it is in space. Let's do the other side. Contemplate your hand. Rotation. Looking at the back end of how the hand moves. We'll just do 4. And you might also notice that there's different availability of creating space in between each finger. So maybe like one is splaying a lot less than the other. See what you can do about equalizing the space in between. That'll also teach you a lot about your arms. And shake it out. Come off. Double check that standing snow angel. You can also take some time to breathe and notice if it takes longer for breath to fill up those extra spaces. If it does, that's a good thing. So now we're just going to go to the wall. We're going to lean in. We're going to take a little walk with stiff arms where we walk our fingers in as far as they can go and then back out. If it's uncomfortable for you to do this against a wall, I mean, essentially we're doing this like you would do a wall push-up. You're getting some body weight. You could also do it seated with your hands on a table or even at kneeling on the floor. All of these options work. You just want somewhere where you can leverage your body weight into your arms and give your hands a stretch and your wrists a stretch as they work on those rotations. So let's go ahead and do it. About 2 times, slowly walking your hands in and out. And when you hit a spot that seems like it's got something interesting to teach you, like slow down, wiggle your chest, move your head around, give it a little bit of a nerve flossing approach. A nerve flossing approach is that you do an easy movement with the distal end of your body, like your head, at a level of about 3 out of 10, just to kind of explore safe movement without moving a bunch of muscles in that area. It's more about teaching your nervous system that something that previously seemed scary is safe. And you might notice that your back and your hips and your abs are getting into this movement too. That's great. We like more people at the party. Stand up, shake it out. So we'll put our hands back in the pillowcase now. And we're just going to do a little bit of back of the wrist stretches. So what's going to happen is I'll show you pillowcase free. One hand is going to hold it. The other hand is going to push out into the bag and stretch the wrist. We're going to kind of move it around so we get some opening in this area. You may also want to do some finger flexes as you do that. Yeah. Yeah, so I can change the tension by pulling up on my fingers. I feel like I should be auditioning for the Muppet Show here. But I also feel that way. Let's change sides about my magnetic doors. Every time I push on them and they open, I imagine there's like Oscar the Grouch behind talking through a trash can. Yeah, and you can just work the hands against each other here. This one's nice. I'm doing kind of a Tai Chi move. I'm pushing one hand forward and pulling the other one back. That one's worth exploring. Let's turn that into some kind of little dance here. Yeah. If you can play with holding that tension at the edge of the fabric and then allowing the arms to find their rotation throughout that. Eventually, once the scapula start to shift, you can also start to move your hips. And you can feel what a strong workout this is for your arms. So now let's just let them drop down in the bag. Press the elbows out, so get it. So it's around your elbows. And do a few head rolls, enjoying the neck stretch and the opportunity to lean your chest forward with the pillowcase as you do this. So if, for example, you teach gyrokinesis, this could be something really great to use when you're teaching the catback sequence, because you could teach people to press their chest forward onto the pillowcase as they pull their arms apart. Sam. Okay, so we're going to take this to the wall now. We're going to lean in. So I've got myself pitched forward. I'm going to press my elbows out. I'm going to start doing some elbow push-ups. So I'm just going to lower my elbows to the wall, and then I'm going to straighten the elbows. And I'm trying to keep my body pretty stiff here. So I'm doing that same action as we had previously, where I'm pushing my heels down and reaching my tailbone to the ground. So you feel how the whole front side of your body gets engaged with what your arms are doing. Now that your knees bend, go in a little more and start to slide your arms up and down. Keep the pressure outwards on the pillowcase, but also into the wall. And do this for the feelings it creates inside of you. So your arms are going to start to flex your spine for you. And you're always welcome to change the rotation of your hands. Find what works for you and find what you want to work on. And then come up, elbows up a little further away. Arch your spine up. Bend your elbows, place them on the wall, slide down, pull in, and then come back up. So 3 more of these reverse waves. Now let it drop down to around your wrists. We're going to rotate and stretch. Leaning your hands back onto the wall. Give it as much body weight as you feel comfortable about. You can always adjust that at any point in time. And you're going to slide your left arm under your right. And then try to push it through to let your body follow. So I'm hanging off of the bag here as I slide my arm under. And I'm stabilizing off my right arm. And then come back, change sets. And then we'll try going over. So the right side goes over the left, and maybe I turn into a slight back bend, or I'm hinting at rotating into a back bend, taking the arm over itself and stretching my same shoulder away from the same waist. We'll have 6 more of these. Anywhere it feels creaky, pause, inhale. Use the exhalation to bring movement back. Come out, turn your palms to face each other inside of the sack, lean your back up against the wall. Walk your feet away and slide your hands down at your thighs, pushing your lower back against the wall. Try not to let the hips tip forward at first. Just stretching that place where L4 and L5 meet S1. 4 right there. When you come back up, squeeze the elbows into the wall to bring yourself upright. And let's take it all the way down to scoop up. So slide down, go through that place where you're stretching your back, and then keep on going. So the tailbone against the wall. Send your arms out. Arch the tailbone. Lift yourself up. And then dive down again. Start by tipping your fingers inside the sack to roll through your spine. We'll stay out at the halfway point here. So dive down, come up, out. And stay at the flat back with your tail sitting against the wall. And let's just swing side to side. So bending your left knee more, rotate right, inhale. Exhale, come center. Other side. And center. Drop the arms down one more time. Roll up. Just lean your whole back against the wall and take 4 breaths to conclude, sending your breath against the wall to spread all the spaces you feel touching. Take the time to really fill it up thoroughly. Like when you put the screen protector on your phone and you take the time to squeegee out every single bubble right then and there. Okay,